Hi, what's up? I'm Peter Kim.
And I'm Wenji Kim.
And this is Two Kim's One Pod. If you're watching from YouTube, you see that I have something on my nose.
What do you have on your nose?
It's a little like pimple cream, a little drying lotion.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So don't be scared. It's just a little self-care. And then for the audio people, I look perfect.
Well, it's interesting. So, like, what is the pimple cream? Like, what are you using?
It's like, I forgot what it's called, but it's like a pink, like, bismuth-y type of substance at the bottom of this.
Oh, it's
oil.
the Mario Badescu.
Mario Badescu, yes.
Yeah, it's now been pulled off the shelves. It's only available at Ulta. Because Ulta keeps it real. Ulta keeps it real.
Wait. Why is it pulled off shelves?
So,
Are they using toxins?
sort of. I mean, like, okay.
Okay. What is it? Is it stem cell? Is it stem cell?
So, it's basically like, I guess they were using some sort of steroid, maybe. They were putting something in. They were putting something in the creams that made it work awesome.
It really does work.
It works like there's. It's not even. It's not even this thing, but they were like putting something in something else that like actually works. And so, but people were having violent reactions to it, like
Violent?
Well, you know, like if you have sensitive skin, people were like breaking out and being like, "What the fuck is this? Like, what's happening?" Mm-hmm. This only happens when like there's this in the product, and it's not. It shouldn't be in an amount that it should bother me, and it was, and it turned out they had been like putting, because it works. It works better. So,
and what are they gonna do? Ask the FDA. They barely have an office anymore.
They're
Thanks
out of
to
office.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, they're out of office. They're work from home now, and so
Yes.
so what? So basically, Sephora pulled them off the shelves. Target, I believe, also pulled them off the shelves. They are now only available at the Ulta. The Ulta, where professionals go,
I'm an
they
Ulta
keep it
fan.
real. I am a huge Ulta fan.
I keep it real too.
Yeah, same.
But anyway, I just wanted to call that out for the viewers.
It's so funny.
How are you? How's your what?
I also like the Mario Badescu. I prefer it over because now the youngs, because you know, you've watched on TikTok like no, because all like the youngs now on TikTok, you see they have little patches. They'll have a little star patch.
Oh, the Mighty Patch and whatever. Yeah,
like they'll have little
not
stars.
into the patches. I don't do.
But that's what I don't do the patch because it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me.
No.
I
don't know what
think
it is.
It makes it worse. Actually, it's like not letting it breathe. I don't know. And I, you know me. I've had like skin issues my whole life, so like this is just a journey. It's just like a continuing thing. But
also,
anyway, the holidays are upon us. You're wearing a cute little like holiday-esque Nordic sweater.
Yes.
Feels very après-ski.
Après-ski. I'm trying to
Do you guys ski? Are you going to ski this year?
We are going to go ski. I'm not skiing.
Where are you going?
We're going to Wisconsin.
You're not, but
yeah.
Okay, the hills. The hills.
That's what they call the
Keeping
dells
it local.
in the winter. Yeah.
Yes.
They call them the hills.
I miss skiing, boy. I'll tell you right now. Oh, God. I wish I could have the wherewithal, meaning money, / resources or donations, to take my dogs and drive them to Colorado, Wyoming.
Oh, yeah.
To a cabin. Have them like
Idaho, yeah.
Yeah, chill all day by a fire, a roaring fire, while Eric and I go ski the slopes for a little bit, come back, hit the hot tub. Ugh, I
like
need it.
Shush into your cabin, like in the little thing. Yeah.
I miss it. It's been a while since I've been flush enough to be skiing.
What is
so
like? You've been skiing though before?
We grew up skiing in the East Coast. Yeah,
really?
My whole family, big skiers. And then I transitioned into snowboarding when I was really trying not to come out of the closet.
For sure. Yeah.
And
That's the easiest way to do it.
I have to snowboard. Yeah. I was like, I got to do
famously heterosexual. Yeah.
Exactly. No faggots on the pipe. So, a lot of dykes. But anyway, so it's very butchy sport. Export.
Yeah, extreme.
And then I absolutely demolished my head. Meaning I banged my skull against sheer ice and almost had to get airlifted off the mountain. Yeah, it was really bad. And
when
I
was
lost
this?
like sense of time. Like, in Korean they say like pilim kung
yeah.
Like that happened where like I was like you ever watch 50 First Dates?
Yes.
There's a character called 10 Second Tom in there
Yes.
where like he only remembers 10 seconds at a
Yes.
time.
Yes.
That's how it was. I like repeated like the same 3 questions over and over and over again for hours. And my friends got so pissed at me they left me in the hospital because they were like, "This bitch is nuts. Like he's broken."
Like
I
glitch.
can't
You're
deal with him
glitch.
anymore.
Yeah.
He's glitching.
He's glitching. Yeah.
So like, of course, my friends being like, my straight Asian friends from college, they're like, "Leave him."
He's broken. He's of no use to us anymore. Did you blow on
No.
him? Yeah. Okay.
So since then, I've been reticent to go back on the slopes because, once bitten, twice shy, they say.
Yes.
In those holiday songs.
Yeah.
And
Is it a
so
holiday
I've been a
song?
little
Okay.
nervous. Once bitten, twice shy. Tonight.
Wham.
Yeah. Yeah. Wham.
Yeah. Is that what the lyric is? Okay. All right.
Once
That's
bitten,
me.
twice shy. I
Yeah.
feel like we said this in this podcast a couple of weeks ago. We went. Anyway, so this is
We're glitching.
we are glitching, and I dream of getting back onto the slopes and really
This was when you were in college?
being about that ski life. I grew up skiing in the East Coast, in New
But
Jersey,
no, this like
up
this
in
ringing
Vermont,
but this like ringing of the bell, this happened in college?
post college, New York City life.
Okay, so like right after college. Yeah.
Adults, we're like we're 24 to 26, making 60 to 80K a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In 2005. So
You're
like
rich.
Like we're living.
Yeah.
It's very Sex in the City. Like we all think we're fucking, the 4 girls meeting up at brunch. Like
Of course.
everybody's doing that. And we're like forcing ourselves to get drunk, throw up, and then get up for brunch and get drunk again.
For
like
sure. Yeah.
to
The
like
$12
live.
Cosmo. Yeah. For sure.
Precisely. So we were that was the mode. That was the time. And I had to take a step back. And then, everything took a step back when I started comedy. Like I stopped doing everything.
Of course.
It's kind of like anytime you join a cult, like you like cut out everything, everyone in your life.
Your friends don't recognize you anymore. You cut out. Yeah.
No,
I mean, like, I didn't realize that you had rung your bell that hard. I knew you were like a skier. I've never been skiing. I don't know how to swim. I don't know how to ski. I've never done any of these sort of activities because it's just it requires a lot of. Yeah, but also I was. It's like the same thing with roller coasters. Like I never did it, and then when I was old enough or tall enough to do it, I was too scared. I developed I'm too much of an adult, so I've never skied before.
I would
I've never
say
even been
knowing
on a skis.
you probably should not ski. Like you would be the one that everyone's like, "Oh God, we gotta airlift this bitch out."
Well, you know what's strange is that I am strangely coordinated. Like if it's like whenever people,
are you?
Yes, it's very strange. It's like because I'm so lazy and I'm like so scared.
Yeah.
But if I do it, like anytime I've like done some sort of something athletic or had been asked to do something, every single person who's ever coached me or done something like is always surprised.
Oh, then you might like skiing because skiing is very, especially if you don't like go too crazy into the diamonds. It's very luxurious and like kind of like at your own pace. It's like gliding. You're like gliding around on the snow. It's
Nothing about it is appealing to me. Same thing with like swimming, all of this stuff. It's just like I'm not looking to commune with nature.
Okay, yeah. I get it. Yeah. You're not your foes. You're enemies.
We're enemies. I'm not.
Yeah.
I guess I could. And also, how about this? It's I think I am showing it an appropriate amount of respect as well.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
this is why white people die on
this
the
is
mountain.
this is what I'm saying. That is like one of the first internet jokes I remember. Like as in 7th or 8th grade, it was like a chain. You remember those chain emails that were going around? Like you if you don't forward this on like to 10 people,
you'll die in 10 days or whatever.
So it was like one of those. Like it was in the.
That's
format.
also the same for this podcast too. If you don't forward this to. Anyway,
but like when he was in the format of that, and it was like this whole like chain email, and at the end of it, it's like, and so we will. It had all these demands, and so if you don't comply, we will murder even more celebrities on the hour until you comply with our demands. And it was signed.
No, not the celebrities.
And it was signed The Trees. Because this is when that Kennedy died, then
Yeah.
Sonny died, and like,
Yeah.
like, and it was like, yeah, the trees are coming for us, and yeah, I still remember that joke, just being like, man, this satire? I don't know what this is, but I love it.
Wow, this is the top of the heap.
I'm not doing this on SNL. Like, I just remember
no,
at 12 being
sure-
like, this
they
is the
sure are
height.
not.
This is the height of humor. Like,
Speaking of SNL, I just got to talk about this real quick because I saw it and I posted up something about it. But John Mulaney posted this photo of the 5 Timers Club
oh, okay, yeah.
of him and all these whites.
It's like
Like,
John
hold-
Goodman, him, and who I'm trying to think. There's like a
Bunch of people.
it's a bunch of white men.
all-
I don't think any
all-
women.
No, a bunch of women too, but it was all white people.
Okay.
And it's like everyone that's like working.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it just looks so embarrassingly homogenous.
It's like that time you posted a picture
I
of
knew
the
you were gonna
underground.
bring that up. I knew you were gonna bring that up. I knew you were gonna bring that up. That's exactly why I posted this, because it's so vehemently obtuse and without nunchi.
Yeah.
You know, this is exactly what we're talking about. It's like, oh, look at all these people, like rarefied space of all these people who've hosted this thing 5 times, and it's all the same face over and over again.
Copy paste.
It's like, I know you don't want, you're not purposefully doing that,
sure.
but just take a look. And that's why I posted the Upstairs Gallery photo. Like, for you guys who don't know Upstairs Gallery, it was a like independent theater where a bunch of improvisers played. And like any other improv space,
Yes.
homogeneously white. And I would normally not say anything because it's like, what, you know, it's like yelling at the sky for being blue. Like, what
Yes.
else is it going to do?
Yes.
But they had posted on their Facebook like page, and this was when I was in the middle of something like very upsetting at Second City
For sure.
with other whites, and
I mean, it was also the time. It was the moment.
it was the moment.
Yeah.
And they showed like, I don't know, a mass of 50 to 60 improvisers crowded into a group picture, and one Carmen Christopher, and
I cannot believe you're naming the name. Okay.
well, he knows. Everybody knew. Like, he was like the only person. Maybe Gary Richardson, but Gary Richardson
he wasn't there. Wasn't there?
He wasn't. He missed out. Like, he slept in for the
No,
photo.
this one was.
And I posted it as my profile picture. Just as I didn't say anything. I didn't comment. I just posted it, and people got very upset because I posted it, and ergo meaning I have a problem with it.
Sure.
Okay, like, what's your problem?
But wait, do you remember?
What's your problem with it?
Do you remember
that I'm calling it out? That I'm saying, hey, look at this.
But you don't remember the exchange though? It was like in a comment that
What?
you posted the photo.
Wait, it's not. I didn't put it as my profile picture.
No, you posted it
Oh.
inside of a comment.
Wait, you can do that?
So it was like again, I know this is going to seem very inside baseball, but this is
the age of Facebook too,
Yes.
which is like 2015.
absolutely. So it's hard to kind of
2014.
I'm going to try to like have it like writ large so it can kind of like fill in, not
Give
just
it
be
the
a
context.
Yeah. So this is like, I think in the era where institutions are being called out for being very predominantly white for no reason, right? And it's just like, this
Yeah.
is like
It's
also,
when the term institutionalized racism was getting very vogue.
yes. And it is, this is pre the racial reckoning, but it's the first iteration of that, right? It's sort of like
Yeah.
the Arab Spring, what have you.
It's pre-BLM.
Yes, it's all of
Yes.
it, right? So this is like
Pre-Trump, not even a sniff of a Trump around.
no, this is 2015.
It was Obama,
Yes.
deep Obama.
Yes,
Yeah.
and like we're like, and the conversation is kind of coming up a little bit because I think Trump is running, right? This is 2015.
This is before.
oh, crazy. Okay, so
This is before.
but this like is the sort of like people are starting to recognize, and there's a reckoning that's sort of happening. It's the Occupy Wall Street. It's just like that first little
Of the Chicago improv community.
of like the racial, because like there is.
They had this is. I'll give you another piece of context. Second City, the main player of Chicago, had a diversity hire. Slash company of people who wasn't really a Torco, but they called him Brownco. I believe it was self-named that, to be fair, but they continued to whatever, and
they did rename it. They did.
Yeah. I think they just ended up calling it Blackco, but they didn't. no. I did Brownco, 2 of them.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where I got my chops. Like I started, and to Second City's credit, they were extending that thing and doing the thing to like be like, hey, our stages are very white. They were noticing it, and that's when I came in and started commenting.
Yeah, that's the word. Commenting. So this is. But this is also this is happening inside a cultural moment, right? This is what I mean about the Occupy Wall. So this is in this cultural moment pre all the racial reckoning, pre BLM, pre Trump, where it's like this conversation is starting to occur, and it's happening as a result inside of the Chicago comedy community, and it was basically somebody had posted something, and you had posted like, oh no, it wasn't that. It was like there was a conversation going on about very specifically like how inclusive and blah 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 this space had been and how special it was. And what
the gallery,
yes.
Oh, okay.
And it was like kind of like this like kind of because I think it was either
as a response to the other theaters being less inclusive.
No, I don't even know if it was anything to do with like that moment. In my recollection, it was just like this sort of like, kind of waxing poetic about this memory, because I think it just like it closed. It was like the whatever number of years since it had ended maybe, and then they're towing on, and you had just posted no other comment, just a photo,
just that photo of their profile picture.
Yes. So no comments, you just posted the photo, okay? And then this is why it's so funny, is that immediately after that, because it's like obvious, the comment, right? Even though there's no words, it's just the photo. It's damning.
I mean, it's 1,000 words.
It's 1,000 words. But this is why it's funny. The next comment is, isn't Carmen something?
Yeah. Isn't Carmen Latino?
It's just me screaming.
So funny.
So funny because it's like
that is what happened. Yeah,
you remember now, right? Like it was like people were just like,
I do, and I was being cunty, I was being shady, and I didn't need to do that.
But it was so funny.
But you know what I really wanted to say succinctly?
Yeah. Brevity.
Brevity is the wit of soul of comedy. Anyway, so what I wanted to try to convey was that like it was also a time of white liberals, i.e. Chicago North Side.
Absolutely.
Really being like, not me, but not me, not me and my friends. Like it was very like defensive,
for sure.
Of like, don't look in here. Busy, like,
I mean,
pooping. Like it was very that, and that when them saying that, I'm sure, I think triggered me because I'm looking at their photo, and you're posting that image as a sense of pride. And that one person saying like, yeah, isn't Carmen something? That being like, isn't that
so funny?
It's, what the subtext of that, what I'm reading is, haven't we done it?
We have one.
Didn't we do it? whatever he is, like, look at him.
Isn't Carmen something?
He doesn't look. He looks different. What do you want? Like, that maybe like I'm triggered, so like I heard it like that, but it felt very that like 짜증나, you know, for the Koreans, it was very 짜증나. Like, isn't he something? You know, like it's very like how they like what's his face, Fred Armisen's like they're like he's not white. By the way, he's like recently found out he's quarter Korean.
Yeah. That it was like he
Korean.
wasn't Japanese. That he was like
he was the ethnic Korean
living
in
Japan and tried to pass. Because everyone's trying to pass.
Pachinko. But anyway,
that would be a crazy way to punctuate stuff where you're like trying to pass.
Pachinko.
Pachinko.
Everyone's just trying to survive, and you know, like Carmen was trying to survive in that group.
I mean, it's thriving.
Thriving in 25ing.
Truly.
I wanted to just say, hey, an image you posted with pride, when I look at it, is a threat.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, like the thing is, like since that moment, and since like post all of it, since BLM and this like the identity politics, sort of like all of it, right? And the moment that we're at now, that we stand in post Luigi.
PL. Yes.
Like this is like actually a bit I've been trying to work on, where it's like the actual issue is not there's a reason why there are not more people of color in that image, in that photo. There's a reason why there aren't more people of color in a lot of improv spaces. It's because people of color don't do theater. People of color are not in high school theater programs. We're not theater kids.
It's not accessible.
It's not accessible, right? And it's why is it not accessible to us? Because by and large, even the people of color that were in these spaces oftentimes were very affluent. They come from places of privilege. So like, you know, that's fine. Like, sure, I guess in the sort of general scheme of things, like making sure that more people of color become rich is culturally important. Or is it like or is the other issue that like these things about art, why stand-up, for example, is so much more diverse, is because it is like something that you can just do.
You can just approach it. Yeah, there's a huge barrier to entry when it comes to theater, theatricality, art school, improv classes, like the amount of money, you know, just like, but again, to tell a group of,
you also have to make no money for a long time,
and someone has to support that. So like, and by the way, if you're white and you're listening to this, like, I'm not trying to say that like it's your responsibility.
No,
it's not, but you should also, it's your responsibility to be self-aware of your context. That's what you should be aware of. Like, that's why I posted that picture. It's like, just think about what this looks like. Just for a second, while you say all these like platitudes about how liberal you are, you know, like, and how inclusive and blah, blah, blah. Like, just take a second, just a moment to think. Because like, that's all we do is like have to think about where we are in our context, in your spaces, constantly. So like, yes, it was a cunty way to put it. I could have been like, hey guys, can we have a discussion? But here's what. I was 30 years old dealing with a bunch of 20-year-olds and I didn't give a fuck. I didn't want friends.
I wasn't here to make friends.
And I wasn't here to make friends.
I was to win America's Next Top Model,
Yes, America's Next Top Improv. And I did go through Chicago that way. And here's what. I made a lot of great friends. I probably pissed a lot of people off too. But there was no other way I could have done it in my 30s. In my 40s, if I started improv now in my 40s, I think I would be like... That is in our friendship clause. For you to take me out immediately if I sign up for another improv class. Immediately. You'll be notified. It's like it's like Apple will notify you.
Like it'll be like a fraud alert. I'll just like it'll get a ping.
Yeah, like his Apple Pay went off for IO.
Level 3.
Advanced intensive 3 characters. No, it's what was I even saying?
Oh, and then if you started in your 40s.
If I started now, I think I would have approached Chicago way differently.
How do you think
I really do.
What do you think would be different?
Because I arrived at 30, remember? 2012.
Yes,
you and I were 30 years old.
Yes, which is
starting improv.
Which is basically 11 emotionally. You know what I mean? You were like 12.
yeah. You know,
like 12, 13. You know what I mean? Like it's like it is
a budding tween.
Yeah.
Hormonally confused.
Yeah.
Ever hard.
Yeah, I would say like maybe freshman in high school, like like where like your like relationship with your sexuality and like all this stuff was like sort of just very, very new.
Yes.
It wasn't that like you were discovering it, but it was new.
It was new, fresh. Yeah. And I think starting at 30 and dealing with 20-year-olds, I was so much older, yet not old enough to have empathy for them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it was a weird space where I was like, I don't want to be your friend. I would like to be your coworker, but I don't need to be your friend. And let me tell you, I don't think I've ever hugged that many people since I started improv. I'm like, bitch, why don't I have no personal space?
Everyone is hugging.
You're in my uterus. Like,
yeah, truly. And I was like, it's already occupied.
Truly.
Like,
what? You have news?
No. I'm saying during this time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's occupied.
Right.
No, are you kidding me? Yeah, I would, if I had that, no.
No. So like, but now at 40, if I were, if I were to start for some reason, be like, I'm going to start this thing, and there was a bunch of 20-year-olds around me, I think I have more space between us to have more empathy and more like patience for them, and even more like inquisitive, like, oh, tell me why you think that way or whatever, as opposed to in 30 just having complete
disdain
for them and being like, I'm not here for this.
That's so interesting. I feel like I have less.
It's because you have kids.
Yeah. Because I see the difference between them and my children. And it's not that vast. It's not big enough, the difference.
I guess I think of them more as like children now.
So do I.
As opposed to like,
yes.
When I was 30, I looked at them as like adults, but like immature adults. At 40, I look at 20-year-olds as children.
Absolutely.
So it's like the lens is different now. You know what I mean? That's I get.
Yes.
I have more like empathy for kids than I do adults acting like kids.
That is a great way of putting it. That is like actually the same reason why I have less empathy, because I see how, you know what I mean? Because I see how close they are to my children. And
your children are better behaved.
But
are they funnier?
No, absolutely not.
Your daughter.
My daughter is a fucking. But it is one of those things where like I see, like it's just like not enough distance between the two of them in spite of their years, and not only that, but I also at this point am raising a version of that, so like that class of person. Right, socioeconomically, maybe not as rich as their
privileged white boy.
Yes, not as maybe, and I will be honest, not as privileged as most of the people who did improv with.
Oh no,
no,
there were some rich people.
That's what I mean, by an order of magnitude. But I'm saying I'm like in this world and in the milieu of it, and I'm telling you,
and there's a nepotism. You have contacts.
Why
you have created a groove,
and there's just I don't understand, like. How you know what I mean? It's just like one of these things where I see how much they have, like in a new way.
Yeah, and they're squandering.
And listen, I love to squander an opportunity, potential, right? You know what I mean? Like money, I love to squander. That's my thing.
Yeah, jewels, baubles.
Squander. I'm squanderer.
You're wasteful.
I'm squadward, and like I would like that's the thing where like I see how much they take for granted, and that's what like makes me crazy like with even with my son and with these people. It's just like, oh, because I didn't even know how much they had. There was just like something in my mind, but the emotional support, the safe space that they're coming home to, the inner life that they have, like
the rent that is paid,
dude, it's crazy. It's crazy to see how much, like, my son feels safe to tell me how he feels.
Yeah, doesn't that make you feel more proud of yourself?
Yes.
Like, right?
Yes.
Like, we have overcome. No, I couldn't even say that. No, we really, I mean, we have more privilege than our parents had, obviously, and it falls downward anyway. But the amount that we had to like navigate and pioneer,
Absolutely.
It's real. Like, and if our parents weren't the immigrant ass people they were, like, we wouldn't have those skills. Now your kids don't have those skills anymore.
No,
because now those skills are irrelevant and they've died away.
They can't even.
They don't have like the ingenuity behind, you know, like cheating the system or whatever. They're like, they play by the rules now because the rules work for them. You know, like that's you've achieved the American dream.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
you have.
We're living in a house with stairs on the inside, so I mean, like, I do get that.
Hello, and he doesn't have to live under the stairs like Harry Potter.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you know, like, I mean, it's just, it is something that I've thought about more lately about, like, kind of, you know, how much it's not even that we overcame. It is sort of like.
We've paved the way.
And you have to do it by yourself in a way that, like, it's hard for people to understand. Like, my son was asking me about jobs or something. And and then it was like in this conversation, I was like, you have to understand, I didn't know anyone that was a doctor or a lawyer. We were not friends with anybody that was like that. I only knew adults who owned stores.
Mm-hmm. If that,
you know what I mean? Like, or worked at one.
Mostly worked in stores,
right?
Or restaurants.
And so even having this conversation with my son, and he's telling me, he's like, oh, I guess I could own this business, or like, would I be, this bitch was saying something about like being like a manager or something, like a project manager. I was like, what are you even fucking talking? Like, you know, like he was talking about like being, I guess I could like manage other consultants, and it was like so granular. Like,
bitch, you working for McKinsey? What the fuck is happening?
Like, he was like such a granular understanding of like corporate America.
Wow.
And
that blows my mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And it is.
That's like their version of us writing our parents' checks for them. Like this is their iteration of it.
Because he didn't.
And our parents were like blown away by the way we could pick up the language,
yes.
and we could like write letters to the court begging for forgiveness from the judge for this moving violation once again. You know.
Like the number of like letters I wrote.
Angie, the amount of letters I sent to the Department of Motor Vehicles. My God, my dad had so many fucking tickets. I mean, he was a driver for a living, so like, of course, it comes with the job. But
I mean, it's just like even having to write something like this, it makes me and like you have to like how many times I've gotten my parents out of jury duty, like all this stuff, and at like not that much older than
the amount of scamming, scheming, and lying that you have to do for your mother, who is an illegal immigrant in this country. I mean, like my mom was green card holding, but like barely.
Oh, was she?
She failed the citizenship ship test once.
Okay.
And then she got real like scared and like took it again because you could only take it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom. Yeah, my mom didn't waited until like I was 20 and then took it because she didn't think that she could pass because you only get to take it twice. Yeah. So like she like memorized everything over the course of that year, and so it's like, I mean, I am lucky that she did that I didn't have to figure out that shit on my own. You know what I mean?
You didn't have to take citizenship tests.
I did, but I mean, she figured it out. Yeah, but she had to figure it out, like the template, because she did it first, so it's much easier for me to do it.
Well, that's what the church was so good for, because everyone's like giving information and sharing knowledge, and like that's the type of shit. I mean, I guess that's
the value. That's literally the value. That's why it's there.
Yeah, that's where my mom learned it and all that, like, or her workspaces, and
that's how you find jobs. That's how you like.
Just
it's
don't
the same sort
have
of
that anymore. We don't have to do that anymore. What a like gift to your kids that they don't have to write a fucking letter to the judge.
But is it a gift? Because let me tell you, like, he cannot.
100% it is, because he can't do that, but he could do other stuff like figure out what a manager of consultants is. I don't know what the fuck that is, and I don't care. That's for your son to care about.
He's just constantly kind of like, it's funny how it does work, but there's a part of me where I'm like, I just wish that you would, just a little bit more scheming, a little bit more like, that sort of
ingenuity.
like sort of scrappiness, right? Like if I left him at home alone, I think the worst thing that he would do would be like, I don't know, eat a lot of candy.
But you're asking for him to be scrappy, meanwhile providing him an unscrappable life.
Unscrappable life. That is correct.
So
touché.
It's your fault.
It is my fault.
Yeah.
And and it's like, it's just strange to see. How about this? This is fucked up. It is very kind of a product of our upbringing for me to see and be providing all of the things that are absolutely making his life better, but I can't see the benefits. I can only see the things that he doesn't have. You know, like all the things that he like no longer like, just like
no longer can do that you used to be able to do.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, as opposed to being like
you're
so grateful for like all this stuff, and he's be able to do this and feels safe to feel like emotional. You know what I mean? I can't see it. I'm always just kind of like always seeing the negative.
The negative?
Yeah.
I mean, that's that's just you, gal. That's just you, gal. So, you know, he's going to have to deal with that in his therapy. By the way, I want to talk about therapy.
Oh, yeah. How did that? Yeah.
I talked to, so for those of you who are joining us new, I have been in and out of therapy. My last therapist was a gay Latino that I really enjoyed, but timing didn't work out, scheduling didn't work out. So, and this time I really wanted an Asian American, i.e. Korean.
Mm-hmm.
And our friend Tian Tran, who goes to therapy, was like, hey, maybe you should go to like an Asian American group. And I was like, they have those?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, they have like all like Asian American therapists like as a medical group or whatever, a mental health group. And I was like, oh, that's so fierce. So like I was introduced to one, and I did a consultation with a Korean lady.
Mm-hmm.
And it was wonderful. She was wonderful. She a little pricey.
Okay.
For me.
To be expected. Yeah.
Like if my insurance covers the 60%,
mm-hmm.
then it would come out to $92 a week.
60% of it covered, and it's still $92?
She's over $230 an hour. No, 50 minutes. 50. So I know, I was like, why didn't I go into therapy? What am I doing? When I studied psychology, I was like, fuck that. I'm making money. I'm going into like market, you know, like therapy wasn't lucrative like this. It was like, you're just like social work, like helping people. I was like, what? But now there's like, it's vogue. You know, like even for like immigrants, like your mom and my mom even know what therapy is. Not that they would go, but they know what it is. Oh, your mom has gone, like your parent, whatever. But anyways, so like I was like shocked by her rate, and she was like, she literally said this to her credit. She was like, so my rate is the $232 an hour, and I go, and I'm like calculating the 60%, and she goes, would that be amenable to you? And I'm like. And she was like, Peter, is the rate okay? Would that work for you? I could send you a super bill. I'm like, let me figure this out. I got to do some math, but and I couldn't like do the math in my head. I was so shocked by the number. Like it was just like black spots in my head. And I'm like I think in math, so I was like, this is crazy. I don't know what's happening. So I don't know about that. that price to me, like, go off, sis. Kick ass.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Honey, like, all the congratulations and
we love that for you.
and
We love that for you.
Please.
Yes.
And thank you. And
Yes.
go forth.
Yes.
Good for you, not for me, I don't think.
It's
And
really
I was thinking
horrible for
about,
me.
like,
yeah.
I was like, if I was making $1 million a year, I would still balk at that. I'm like, who am I? George Clooney? Like, what the fuck? 232?
I mean, you
And
wouldn't.
apparently that's not the most expensive. It
No,
goes
it's
up to
not.
300
Yeah.
at this group.
I've
Other
seen
people, I'm
I've,
sure it goes up crazy.
I've
yeah.
I've definitely gone to therapists that were $200 an hour. I didn't pay out of pocket, but yeah. I mean, I will say this: if I have done stuff like this when it's out of pocket, when there is like a specific end goal. So if we're doing it for 8 weeks, then I understand that there's like a point at which. But into perpetuity, if this is we're just chit chatting, it's about my feelings.
No.
No.
ChatGPT.
No. You know, like.
But you know, I do like the Korean American experience of it all, and I'm doing another consult with another person, a Korean. So I'm gonna see what her rate is.
Okay.
But
Hopefully
I do
she
think
went
I want to talk to a woman.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to talk to a Korean man. There's something like triggering about that.
Yeah, I would not want to either.
Unless they're gay, then absolutely go off, sis. But a straight Korean man, it's like, I'll talk to a white guy.
No. Also, like, to me, that's
Yeah.
like losery.
Wait, who's the loser? The person talking or the therapist?
The therapist, like, it's like a straight male, like a straight Korean.
It's like
male.
a straight male, Korean male gynecologist.
Yeah,
It's
like, what is
why,
wrong?
Why aren't you a surgeon?
Yes. Like, you weren't smart enough to do something else.
Go to medical school. Ew, bitch. Cuck.
I'm truly so toxic. But that's like,
you're so bad. We're kidding, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, and it's a response to like straight men just not feeling safe for me.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to be my therapist feels a little like, yeah, let me know when the girls are around.
I mean, I've actually had a Korean psychiatrist. He was a man.
Like a drug dealer? Who can't deal drugs?
No, but he was like, maybe he was like an older like Korean guy. Yeah, like that. Like
an
MD.
MD.
Yes, and I thought it would be really bad, but he was like kind of more like he was Zen. Like he was one of like he did not go to church. He was like a Buddhist.
Okay.
And it was just like a different vibe. And it was just during a time which I was like so and the fact that he could be so solid and strong and quiet and so
I see the
unbothered.
value of that.
Yes.
I see the value of that.
Especially as a psychiatrist, right? So it was like he was always very he kept things in context. He was always like, maybe that's not like we don't need to do that. And it was just very much like
authoritative but soft.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was
soft
also
power.
But it's also in a time which I was in like fully in crisis. I don't know if I would share. You know,
Okay.
like it was much more like he was correcting. You know what I mean? Like he was giving me boundaries and like teaching me these things about like learning to silence parts of my like inner dialogue. And but yeah, I don't know if I could do like a therapist and like share.
I'm gonna walk it back. I think I can if the man is Korean and straight and way older than me and is sick. Like
Physically weak.
physically weak.
Yeah. So you could,
Like if I could best him.
Yes.
Like if there's like you got to give me one thing to have over you because the power balance is too much that like I can't concentrate or be honest.
you can't be honest. That's absolutely
I
it.
can't
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah.
And if I can't be honest, then I'm just throwing money in your face. And there's no point.
This is the truth. Yeah. So when what did you enjoy inside of the consult that like makes you want to return to, and like what about
Korean?
Yeah.
Here's what I didn't get. You talking to your son?
That's what I mean. I was like,
yeah, yeah, I know, like birds of a feather. Okay, what I liked about her was that she told me she understood the immigrant experience, the specifically around trauma, around she asked me about my background, and she was able to understand the complexities and the layers of abuse and,
of course,
of trauma. Instead of like a white person looking at it as flat, you're able to like really see like how like stitched together it is, the experiences.
Yes.
Yeah. So I liked that.
Also, like I feel like people that are of the same like can place the correct amount of value on things. Whereas like sometimes I feel like when I've talked to white therapists about stuff, they really weigh something too heavy.
Shock to this thing. You're like, no. We have to go to C.
That's actually the worst.
We're skipping A and B. We're going to C.
Like, you know what I mean? You're hung up.
Don't worry about him beating my face.
Yeah, like that was fine.
Who doesn't? Let's move on. I experienced the same thing too.
Yeah.
Like it's very like, oh, there is a like, you're grading on a curve.
Yes, there's a weighted average here that you don't 100%. Know. You don't know the score.
You don't know. Boom.
You don't. Yeah, and you don't like. So you're counting an AP thing as like a regular Spanish class, and I was like, no, that's actually AP.
Yes.
And you think regular Spanish is like, it's just like, and it's so much explanation. They're never going. It's like it's like learning a second language. Like even if you are fluent, it's never going to be native to you. So having to explain like when you were a native speaker of that to a person, like it's hard because there are so many nuances. And it's a very
thin zone too, because if you're to second generation to third, you don't understand it either. That's like your son trying to give me therapy. Like, what the fuck do you know? Like, so.
Yeah, my mom refused to give me Oreos, like, because everything had to be from Whole Foods. Like, I'm like, shut up.
What a dictator. So, but here's the thing, like in the consultation, like you can't really get the feel of it, but she said she knew, but I don't know if I like felt.
Oh, she was a little too young?
No, not young, but like, this is crazy, but I'm going to put this out into the world. She was a little too of the core am. Okay. I need more core, less am. And like, let's actually even splice this hair between you and me. If we didn't know each other, and you just on paper and me on paper, and we're both therapists, let's say, if I'm seeking a therapist, even your level of is too much for me. I need a little more fob. I need a little more core where you can speak to me in Korean, and I think I don't know why, but there's something about, if we can do therapy in Korean, that I have a chance to actually heal.
So then you want like an older, like kind of fobby therapist.
They don't have to be old. They could be my age or younger too, but they have to be able to talk to me.
But I think that's when you're going to
relate to me.
But I think that's when you're going to get in trouble, where it's like, if they are, because there'll be too core. It'll be more core than it is am. If you have an older person that's been
I want someone who's more core than am. That's my complaint right now.
But even if it is more core,
like
it's gonna be harder. like, okay, let me just, yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
why. Because let's even say a therapist from Korea who grew up in the 80s. Because what I need is someone who understands
Your parents?
my parents and
Why?
how it relates to my therapist's lived experience. Because I think there is something so specific about our trauma, not just the immigrant trauma, but the immigrant from the 80s, pre-internet, like this kind of like late Gen X, early millennial trauma that is so specific that like very little amount of people understand it or like see me or I feel seen by. And if someone who's Korean could talk to me and understand at the same time my experience living as an American, I know it's such a like thin thing to ask for, but as long as we're manifesting, I'm going to put it out there. I just need like someone like me. Like someone who grew up
in Flushing. Yeah.
In Flushing.
I mean, like,
no, truly. Like or not those experiences, but like at least are aware intellectually and sociologically how that like stitches together into my mental health, how it like goes back to like ancestral trauma from our motherland, the Han of it all, the like us constantly carrying around this kind of like beaten down, like underdoggy feeling, you know, in America, but you know what I mean? Like it's very.
So what you're talking about right now, Peter, like the way you're articulating it and the way that you're experiencing all of this is so
Right. But I need someone who like speaks Korean.
Okay, that's different.
That's different.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
you're right.
yeah.
You're right. I need a more less core, but speaks core.
But also, I empathize with what you're saying about like a very specific, like 80s sort of thing. When you said that I was just kind of, when I was like, you want someone that understands your parents.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why does that feel so important to you? Like, why wouldn't you want them to understand you?
Well, both. Ideally. I need someone who I think more people could understand me versus understand me and my parents. That's a tall order.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think that someone who is going to understand a lot of this and speak Korean, I think will probably have very similar experiences and be in the sort of same age and like, you know, world.
Demographic.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
But if there are younger, I'm saying that like, because I think most like people that are a little older than us, like true Gen X Korean people that immigrated, that are first gens but are like in their 50s, or our parents are in their 70s, right? All of their kids speak Korean. Like pretty like well. Like it's like a thing because they also went back. They're like a more affluent group that came over. You know what I mean? It's like just a different thing. There's less shame. They all kind of like are like all of it. I just see it with these kids. There's less shame around it. Like it's a different thing altogether. So that is also like you could get the Korean and the AM there, but it's too AM. It's not even the AM. It's just like they're young. And their experience with all of it.
I think I need, more than anything, I think I need the Korean language. And this is maybe why ChatGPT might work. Because you could program them to speak Korean. But here's why. And I'm going to take a leap here as like a final statement before we close out. I think so much of our trauma, our parents, linguistically is tied to Korean. We were traumatized in Korean, and we are trying to heal in English. You know what I'm saying? Everything bad we think about ourselves comes from our parents saying it in Korean.
Oh my God.
We speak to ourselves in Korean. We translate it very fast to English, but it's a Korean voice and a Korean language saying the things we hate most about ourselves.
Jesus Christ, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we keep trying to find solutions from a different well, but the well I feel like has to go back to a Korean speaker, because in the deep recesses of my reptilian skull, the sound of my mother and father disapproving of everything about me,
oh my God, I'm just so triggered. Yeah.
even my complete essence of how I walk, talk, breathe, approach things, nothing being good enough, all of that is coded in Korean. But because we're Korean, we're only interfacing with our mental health with English. We only speak to each other in English. So to truly deprogram, I think I need to deprogram via Korean, my birth language. My, like, call it trauma language, whatever you want to call it. Like, if you're French, that's your trauma language. You know, like, we happen to have...
Sorry.
Like,
just thinking about French trauma. Okay. Okay.
no, breathe.
Yeah. I mean, that is like a very... I've never thought about it that way. That is like really breathtaking to consider, because absolutely that is true. Like
right? We're trying to reverse engineer the thing.
But like my demons, right? My most sadistic self-talk.
Hanbok, baby.
Yes. My most sadistic self-talk is like, absolutely, it's in Korean. That really that fucked me up, right? That really fucked me up.
Right? And you're saying like these Gen X kids or who speak Korean or whatever, like, if you don't speak Korean to your kids and you traumatize them in English, they have a chance to heal in English here. We almost have to like go to Korea to heal, or like find someone who can speak the language of our mother's tongue to unlash us.
Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean? Like, and we're this like sliver of line. Like, the first generation is that sliver of line where you get traumatized in your home language, but you do all the work in English. But like every generation after that is all one language of trauma.
So does this next person that you're seeing, do you know if they speak Korean?
I'm hoping so, because this goes all the way back to my complaint with this person, besides her crazy rate that she deserves, just crazy for me, not for her, is that she didn't speak in Korean at all.
Sure.
And I could almost tell she can't. Kind of like you. You know what I mean? And that's why I went to the AmCore thing of like why the language is so important to me. It doesn't really matter like what culturally if they're core or am, but it really, that's what I'm looking for, I think. And I could tell it would be, if I was to like yaja with her, you know, and kiki, like I don't think she could keep up. And I need someone who could like keep up with me to help me. It's a tall order, I know, but this is the podcast to call it out on, because if you're listening, you might know someone in California who takes Blue Cross Blue Shield. Now,
I mean, I do feel like
California, put it out there.
I think California would be the place to. Where this
LA would be the place.
Yeah.
SoCal, baby, come on.
Yeah, it really would be the place. But I don't know.
If they don't have someone who does this, maybe I'll start like a group of like Konglish. I don't want to go to school, but like maybe I'll just start the business and then like hire. Because I really do think this is a thing.
I mean,
native tongue therapy is a thing. I really do believe so.
Yeah, I mean, also, yeah, you can filter for that though on the ZocDoc.
Like they speak Korean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, just putting it out there for you, like in the universe.
Yeah,
like, surely, like I've been like fucked. You like fucked me up today. Like that's crazy. Like, there's like, I'm realizing like, okay, I need to heal in Korean. I don't really speak Korean, so am I ever going to be healed? Like, what the fuck?
No, you don't have to speak it. They have to.
No, but then, even then, like, I would, it just feels like, because I've done this before with my mom in this way, where it's like getting heated and stuff, and then because my mom has said it, like, literally, like where can this conversation go? You know what I mean? Because like I can't, like, we literally cannot communicate, right?
Exactly my point.
So like, you know, it's like, so like that's a part of it where it's like intrinsically kind of devastating that even with all best intents, like everything forward, like open hearts and everything, there's just like this limitation.
Well, speaking of ChatGPT,
we're not sponsored.
We're sponsored. Will you sponsor us? No, there are these new earphones now where you can hear and the AI translates for you.
Whoa, Star Trek.
But it's broken as fuck, obviously.
Yeah, because Google Translate's all horrible.
Like, me like cold soup this morning or whatever. But that might be a bridge.
Yeah.
All right, stay tuned, folks, and happy holidays. Good tidings to you and your family. And, you know, this is going to be the last one before the Christmas holidays. Actually, we have one more before New Year's, I believe.
Yes. So then that'll be kind of be the big ramp up. Yeah.
That'll be the big,
but yeah, happy holidays. Like, I hope you guys have a easy, breezy sort of, you know. Are you guys, what are you guys,
girl holiday.
What are you doing anything specifically for Christmas?
Just hanging out. We're doing Friendsmas day of, some Chicago folks getting together.
Okay.
And before that, we're doing Christmas Eve with my brother and just having a little like family time. And yeah, just keeping it low key.
Yeah, it seems kind of across the board like people are keeping it.
No one has money.
Yes.
Everyone's fucking broke and everything's too expensive. So we're like, I guess we're staying home and turning on the television.
Truly.
Yeah. So maybe we'll get more work next year. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.